Welcome. Today we're talking with Jim Donnelly, President and CEO at Wayne Bank, named one of the top 25 performing banks in the country by Bank Director Magazine last year. Jim, welcome and thank you for joining us at today's Banker Digest.
Larry, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to have a conversation with you today. I've enjoyed listening to your broadcast in the past and find the insights helpful to me, and hopefully we can do something for the audience today that is no less than entertaining and maybe even helpful.
Great. Okay. Well, good. Well, thank you for that. Let's start with how has the Federal Reserve's increased interest rates affected Wayne Bank's strategies, plans, etc.?
Well, the speed with which the Federal Reserve moved rates up was a little bit of a shock to the system. But we did take the Fed at their word early on that they were going to go higher, that they were going to aggressively attack inflation, and that here, as we start to hit the end game where they stop, that they're going to hold rates higher for longer. So we started our plans there. Our net interest margin took a hit like everyone's, but we try to throw the anchor out of the back of the boat and slow it so we can maintain a good performance and still continue to reward our shareholders for sticking with us as the banking landscape got a little bit more volatile. But I'd say overall, our strategy is working. Our credit quality is great. We've continued to grow and we've grown profitably.
Great. Thank you. That's wonderful. So what are your expectations over the next 18 to 24 months regarding interest rates, inflation, and the overall economy?
So like the 1,000 other prognosticators that you might talk to, I'm probably going to be more wrong than right. But at least the way we're planning on it is, I think at least the first half of next year, we will continue to have the higher rates that we'll go through. Then we'll see if there's any softening or if the Fed hits its target in the second half of next year. And we'll keep an eye on that. But I think 18 months out to 24, we might see interest rates come back down a little bit. But I do believe, like I said, I take the Fed at their word. They're going to try to stay higher for longer. So at least the first half of next year and probably all of next year, we'll have interest rates near where the Fed ends up this year.
Great. Thank you, Jim. So switching gears a little bit, how do your offices, as you call them, or branches, fit into Wayne Bank's strategy?
Well, as a community bank, it's important for us to have a footprint in the community and to have our employees active in the community. And so it's great for us to be there to answer questions in person, via phone, chat, whatever means is most important for our customer. But it's equally important for us to be active in United Way, Little League, and the Chamber of Commerce. So it is an important part of who we are and who we think we are in the future. Our reach from each office may be a little bit further than traditionally, and we may do more of a hub and spoke kind of model, but we will have offices into the foreseeable future and continue to grow in that way.
Great. Thank you. So in thinking about offices, how do you decide where and when to open a new office?
So there's sometimes we're unplanned success in a community where we start to land clients in a community. We do the review of the community and the trends, growth trends, population trends, to make sure that there's enough, if we open an office, that we don't wind up closing it in a couple of years, that there's a good opportunity for us to grow it. And so it'll be that. Other times we look at our footprint and see where are we missing and where is the opportunity. And we'll do a similar highly analytical look at it. And then do the old drive around Main Street, go sit in the diner and listen to people talk. See if you fit, see if you add any value to the community. And if we do, if those two things, the analytics and the softer side match, then we'll start looking for the right spot in town to serve the community.
Great. Thank you. With your large set of offices or branches, how do you evaluate the performance and contribution of the current offices that you have?
So we do an indirect and a direct method of looking at the performance. So we do a small profitability for each branch to see how does that office perform. We stack rank them, not to pit them against each other, but to see where are we doing well and what can we learn from those spots. And then, as banks, we always look at the loan side, or traditionally we've always looked at the loan side to drive the profit. But I'd say any office right now that is generating low cost or lower cost deposits is really where the profitability is at. So the indirect model looks at how do we grow and give credit to those offices that maybe aren't as big lending offices as they are deposit offices. Because I've seen in the past where some institutions will make that quick profitability thing, close an office, and then say, "Oops, that was the place where we got all of our international currency that we provided the rest of the bank with," or "That's where we got deposits to fund the 3 offices near it, and now we're losing that." So we try to make sure that we're looking at it from both sides, and also what's the turnover in that community, what are the trends in that community. So we kind of take a holistic look at those offices. And I think we have pretty good analyses that have led us to good decisions.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for spending time with today's Banker Digest, Jim, and sharing your insights on managing the Fed's interest rate changes, as well as the important role Wayne Bank's offices or branches provide in serving your local communities and customers. Again, Jim, thank you.
Larry, thank you so much for having us today. Really proud to join you. And, it's right up there with one of the more exciting things that we've had to do this year, and really enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for having us.
Great. Thank you. In closing, thank you for joining today's Banker Digest. If you have additional questions for Jim, please see the link in his bio.